Hello, everyone. Welcome to Eyes Closed with AViVA. Thank you for taking the time, AViVA, to chat with me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, your album, Volume 1, just dropped a couple of months ago. And
Mhm.
I was wondering how you recorded it, like who was sort of involved in the production of it. Did you have co-writers, co-producers? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, yes, I can. The AViVA project is me, but also my creative collaborative partner, Mateus. He and I have always been the AViVA project
Hmm.
behind the scenes, writing everything together. I top line everything. I write all the lyrics. I'm very protective of my lyrics,
Yeah.
as you could imagine. And the top line is the melody and the lyrics. And then we work on the song with another producer as well that we work with, not on all the songs, but on a lot of the songs. John Paul Fung, he's also from Australia.
Hmm.
And for a bunch of the songs in volume one, the three of us actually went to Bali and recorded in Bali, which was amazing. We
That's
did that for a month.
amazing.
Yeah. And then we moved to America, and then we had to get JP out for another writing session because basically how we like to do it, I suppose, Mateus and I mean, we're writing song ideas independently of each other.
Hmm.
I'm just jotting down ideas and melodies, recording them as I hear them. We do about 2 songs a week, 2 full songs a week. And then every couple of months, we do like a week or 2 full block out and maybe smash out 6 or 7 songs in that time.
Right.
So
Okay.
very prolific, always working.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's nice to
Okay.
have people that you collaborate with.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine it takes a while to find those people too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Definitely.
cool. Um, and you recently posted, or you started posting a series of videos on YouTube about your song lyrics and the meaning to you, and you
Mhm.
also encouraged fans to tell you what how they interpret the lyrics. So what's like an interesting take that you've seen from fans about your lyrics?
I think that the they're all different. I mean, I read, that's one of the things that I kind of have become known for. I read all the comments and reply to the majority of the comments, and I acknowledge them if I can't specifically write a personalized message to all of them because there's thousands of them. But the one thing that I find really inspiring from the fans and their responses is they're always talking about personal growth, and I'm all about trying to inspire people to be creative and to be unique and to pursue being who they really are. And what I find in the responses is that people, they are saying, I really love this line because it makes me feel like I can go into my workplace and not let my boss treat me like crap. Or I really love this line because it makes me feel like I can stand up against my bully at school, and that is amazing to me. And I love seeing that. And I always say, like, the songwriting process is very intimate, and the spine of the song, no one knows. Like, even Midheist and JP that I write the song with don't know. It's kind of irrelevant. That's my personal spine, but what I want people to get out of it and the story that I'm trying to tell, that's what I share in the videos on YouTube. People are really connecting with that, which I think is awesome. And I love hearing, yeah, everyone's take because it's connecting with people of all different ages and genders and backgrounds, ethnicities. It's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. That's what I've gathered too from like going through some of the
Yeah.
comments. Yeah, for the past few days, just how your music stuck in my head. Evil, I think, really stands out for me. Uh,
Awesome.
yeah, and you also just put out Shattered Pieces Make Me Sharp. I
Yes.
know that there is a connection between the two songs. So could you explain, like, is Shattered Pieces like uh, an alternative version of Evil, or is like how did you approach the songwriting for, I guess, both of those songs, and what made you decide for for it to be two separate songs rather than one master
I
song?
One giant song.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I actually wrote Shattered Pieces before the evil that is kind of the main evil. Shattered Pieces I wrote before that. I had a concept, a friend of mine had suggested the concept of this EVIL thing. And I was like, yeah, I really like that. Jason and I wrote Shattered Pieces together in about 45 minutes from start to finish, recording it, the whole thing. It happened very quickly. It was very easy. And I called it Shattered Pieces Make Me Sharp because that's the line that really stands out to me. And I have a secret love of songs that have very long names. That's not a great strategy for my ability, but evil, the main evil is a different song, and Shattered Pieces is evil because they both share the concept of evil as the chorus. Other than that, they're completely separate songs from separate journeys and separate experience. There is actually there's no connection. That's why then they're one master song. They're two separate songs that happen to have the same chorus concept. Yes, which is something that, some people might be like, well, how unoriginal, couldn't think of another idea. But sometimes something speaks to you and it's still speaking to you. And I wrote Shattered Pieces and it wasn't over. That concept of evil, I was like, oh, there's more to it. I'm going to do more, which I did. And I love both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I find
and
that
you can tell there's it's almost like a different song being sung by a different person in a different place. Like they're two different perspectives.
Yeah, I find that really interesting. I love because it kind of like tells a different, it's almost like there's like a backstory, or you can kind of create your own parallels to,
Exactly.
I really love that. And I love that that it is so completely I mean, Shadow Piece is very different to any song in volume 1. So I really love, I really loved it. So congrats on being awesome.
Thank you. I was just going to add, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I love that people like kind of try and find the story and draw the connections between the two, because I could almost guarantee that there is a connection between the two somewhere. I just don't know what it is consciously.
Yeah.
But there would be a subconscious connection. And if it does, if you as a listener interpreted it that they're two sides of the same coin or whatever it is, that's awesome. That's what it should do. You should be able to have your own experience and your own story with my music.
Cool.
And that's what I strive for.
Yeah. So I looked up some of your lyrics and stuff, and I saw on, was it genius.com, that people have put 3 of your songs, so it was Evil, Rules, and Hypnotized, on like a volume 2. Can you confirm that that's like a thing that's happening, or are those 3 songs not really part of any album? I mean, like, you just put one out. Like, I don't know if you're already planning, a new record or whatever's happening. What can you say to these rumors, volume 2 rumors?
I can neither confirm nor deny them. I think that the people that populate Genius lyrics with content are active and shrewd and enthusiastic, which is awesome. There is a lot of music that I have in my kind of, I don't know what you call it, my music releasing machine.
Yeah.
When it all comes out and how it all comes out is going to be a surprise. And I can guarantee that volume 2 is not going to be the exact same as volume 1 in terms of how it is. It is going to be a different type of entity.
Wow.
That's really all I can say. That was a curveball question.
Very elusive. All right. Okay. But so, like, can I just follow up? So, like, that means like you're constantly kind of like there's something brooding, there's something happening. In terms of like always. Okay.
Always.
Amazing.
I've got so many more songs to come, and I mean, theoretically, we're towards the end of the year and there's still so much more to come.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing.
I just can't help myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you were saying that you're the kind of person that doesn't have a choice, you know. So, and you find that so often. I
Mm.
find um with people. And I mean, I can definitely relate. So that's cool. Um so I always picked up on one thing that I watched one of your videos, and you said that you tend to you feel like you're always misunderstood in some way.
Mm.
Um like what are some instances where you feel like um that's happening, and and how do you deal with that? Can you talk about that a little bit?
I think that I was in high school, I really didn't make friends easily.
Mhm.
Seven, I went to a high school with some people from my primary school, one friend in particular, and it was kind of her and me. And we had this like us against the world attitude, which
Yeah.
closed me
Yeah.
off from being able to make friends with anyone else. I'm not friends with her anymore because she ended up being a little loopy, but
Ooh,
it's
all right.
one of those things like um I just feel really strongly like when I was a teenager, I was really creative and I'm a highly emotional person and I feel
Mhm.
my feelings strongly and I express them very strongly. I don't subscribe to bottling things up because for
Yeah.
me, it always ends very badly. And people, used to say, "Oh, Aviva, she's so quirky." And I'd always be like, "What the hell does that even mean?" Like, I know what quirky means, but
Yeah.
what is why are you using that word?
Yeah.
And constantly being put in a box of being different, alternative, unique, all these things that, I mean, now, yeah, I am, and I see them as big compliments. But when you're 14, 15,
Yeah.
there's a huge part of you that just kind of wants to go with the flow and fit
Yeah.
in and not really stand out, even if deep down you just want to stand out and be you. And it took me many years, probably until I was about 15, to realize that I didn't fit
Mhm.
in. I didn't want to fit in. And that's my whole thing that I always say, not fitting in, not wanting to fit in. And as soon as I made that decision, I remember the day that I made that decision, I was on a school excursion. We went on a ferry, which is like
Yeah.
a boat,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we were doing this walk around the island. And I don't even know why that was the moment that I decided that I just didn't care anymore.
Mhm.
But it was, and it really changed my life. But I still feel misunderstood. I have had meetings with all different executives from record labels who have said that I'm just far too ambitious. And I have met with creative people that just can't seem to conceptualize my ideas. And then, 3 to 6 months later, I just do it
Mhm.
myself. And people are like, wow, I can't believe that you did that. It's amazing. And I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't believe how many people said that was crazy. And so I guess that
Yeah.
even my mom sometimes doesn't fully understand me and what I'm doing. And so I just kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of used to it. I don't really care about what people think that I should be or do. As long as I am doing the right thing and trying to make the world better for people and not hurt people. So I always say to my
Yeah.
fans, if you're not hurting anybody, then you should be as you need to be. The only line is when it starts hurting other people.
Of course. Yeah. Um, I guess the next thing kind of connects, because that I have a personal uh, sort of experience with that as well. So I heard that you once said that like you're basically straight edge, like you don't drink or do drugs and stuff. And yeah, I mean, same for me. I was hugely influenced in my teenagers by like hardcore and like I mean, basically where straight edge is coming from. Um, and so I totally get the whole like sort of outsider status, I guess, or just constantly being confronted with like, oh, like why don't you drink? Like why, and at some point I was like, hell yeah, I love not fitting in, because I don't want to be part of this like party crowd and everything that people are trying to sell you as sort of the desirable lifestyle, you know? So,
Kind of like all unappealing.
yeah, it's so what kind of I have a lot of opinions on that as well, but so what kind of led you there? Was it a conscious decision to live your life that way? Did it just happen to be something you're not interested in? Or yeah,
I've never drunk in my life.
yeah.
I used to get really upset because I'd get invited to parties when I was in high school sometimes, but it's very difficult to fit in a party and just trying to go and blend
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
and you're introduced to everybody as a Viva who doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Like,
my friends would lead, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but they would lead me into the room and be like, "Hey, everybody, this is Aviva. She doesn't drink. Just
mm,
letting you know, she doesn't drink."
yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see all these people like, because they think that you're like not the cool person or relying on you to drive them everywhere. And that was so frustrating to
Oh,
me.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I started doing music, it would blow your mind how many people were like, "I'm going to be the first person to get you drunk. I'm going to get you
Oh,
your first drink."
yeah.
And these kinds of comments, and always from men,
Yeah.
very rarely from women.
Yeah.
And just the audacity and the disrespect. If you say that you don't drink, that's the end. It's like
Yeah.
the same as consent in every sense. If you say no, it means no. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean maybe. It means no. And drugs is the same. I just have seen people throughout my life with alcoholism, drug addiction,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I have so much to do and so little time in which to accomplish it all. I don't even drink
Yeah.
coffee because I want to rely on my own body clock
Yeah.
to motivate me in the morning and not
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, well, I'm useless until I have a coffee."
Mm, mm.
Because so many people are just like, "Oh, I can't do anything." Like, you haven't had your coffee, you're fine. You're just doing
Yeah.
it
Well,
like a grown up.
to be fair, I only drink decaf because I can't handle caffeine. So
You
I'm
just like the
like,
flavor.
yeah, I'm like a child. So yeah. But and also, so the whole like getting introduced to people. I've made the experience that like people then blame me for like rubbing it in their faces that I don't
Yeah,
drink and that I
that
think
you
that I'm
think you're better
better.
than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the need to talk about it, but like if you confront me about it, yeah, I'm gonna tell you why I think it's fucking stupid. Like um yeah.
It
But like
it blows my mind. Oh,
yeah,
people think you can't trust. I've had people say that to me. I had people that I thought were my friends. "I don't trust you because you don't drink." And I'm like,
that's the
this is
most
this bleeds
ridiculous.
back this
Yeah.
whole like concept of fake friends, and that's what I always say in
Mhm.
my songs.
Yeah.
I'm not writing about romantic relationships. I'm writing about
Mhm.
friendships, because the amount of times that I've had these friendships, these people that I thought actually cared about me, and
Yeah.
they're just using me because they think that my life is cool, or, you know, everyone wants the alternative friend. I was that
Oh,
person for
oh,
so long. And so many of my fans share their stories with me,
yeah.
younger ones especially. And I just see that behavior. It's like really, really normie type people want to have
Mm,
like the kind of alternative kind of alti girl or boy or whatever you identify as.
yeah.
And
Weird.
they want them in the group to kind of edge their group up, but they don't care. They're just using people, and it
Mm,
really makes me mad. And the alcohol
yeah.
stuff is the same, and oh, don't even. You'll open Pandora's box.
Absolutely. Oh my Jesus. Okay, maybe then I got two more questions for you. Um,
Awesome.
Tell me about Psycho Records because that's something you tweeted about. Um,
Well, Psycho Records is Mateus's project, who
okay.
I said earlier was who we do the music with. I mean, I obviously have an overarching eye,
Hmm.
but basically, we've had deals from so many majors around the world and met with all of these different big corporations. And record
Yeah.
labels aren't,
Yeah.
they're not for the future. They're not for the now. They're
Mhm.
for the past. And I don't want to be there. And the culture in record labels harks back to what we were literally just talking
Yeah.
about a second
Yeah.
ago anyway. So we decided that we were going to be doing this stuff independently. And I was like, we need to do a label. And Teases wanted to do a
Wow.
project like that for a while. So Psycho Records is that. It is what we're releasing the music through, but we own it. So it's our kind of project. And it also links to the book that I don't know if you know that I've written, this young adult novel.
Yeah.
And it's going to be coming out next year, ideally. And Psycho Records also has a tendril in as well.
Okay.
That I'm creating. It's an
Wow.
elaborate web.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, let me ask you my last question. I heard that, I mean, people always ask you about like, oh, do you speak foreign languages? Da da da. I heard that you learned Elvish.
Oh, so long ago.
Are you a huge Lord of the Rings fan? Please tell me you are, because I'm like the
I'm a
biggest.
very big Lord of the Rings fan.
Oh my
I went
gosh.
through a very big Lord of the Rings phase.
Yes.
Don't ask me anything too complicated because I'll get put on the spot and then my brain will freeze. But I used to be very, very good at speaking Elvish. There's a special reference book that Tolkien wrote. It was basically like how to speak, read, and write the language.
Yeah.
And my local library had a copy, and it was only used in the library. Like you had, those special books that
You couldn't take it out. Yeah.
yeah. But I managed to con them into letting me borrow it, and then I lost it. So yeah.
Karma, AViVA, karma.
I know. I think I was like 13, and I was like, no. And you can't buy it. And I've been trying to find the book for myself now. I love fantasy. All kinds of fantasy and science fiction, my favorite genres of all things that have genres.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to plug in a couple of sentences?
I have a new song coming out. I can't remember whether I've revealed the name of the new song yet. It's coming out next month, so I can say that.
Oh, that is some juicy information. Okay. Something to look forward to, everyone.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, and it's my favorite
Amazing.
song too. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
it's the big one.
Okay. So that's a good
And the
cliffhanger.
artwork's really awesome as well. I mean, it's fantastic. I can't lie.
Of course. Yeah. No, are you your own biggest fan as well? Because I get
You
that a
have
lot.
to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay, AViVA, it's been such a pleasure.
It was awesome to meet you.
Be safe and everything, and
I will, you too.
then we'll talk soon. Okay.
Exactly.
Bye.
Have a great day.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye.
Bye.